Percy works in the yard at the big station. He loves playing jokes, but they can get him into trouble. One morning, he was very cheeky indeed. Peep, peep! Hurry up, Gordon. The train's ready. Gordon thought he was late. Ha, 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 laughed Percy and showed him a train of dirty coal cars. Gordon thought how to pay Percy out. Next, it was James's turn. Stay in the shed today, James. Sir Topham Hatt will come and see you. Ah, thought James. Sir Topham Hatt knows I'm a fine engine. He wants me to pull a special train. James's driver and fireman could
not make him move.
The other engines grumbled dreadfully.
Ringo was
They had
there.
to do James's work as well as their own.
And Ringo was pulling coaches, and Gordon was too. And Edward was shunting freight
At last,
cars.
the inspector arrived. Show a wheel, James. You can't stay here all day. Sir Topham Hatt told me to stay here. He sent a message this morning. Late again, Edward laughed, and James fumed away. After James had finished his work, he went back to the yard and puffed onto the turntable. He was still feeling very bad-tempered. Edward is impossible, he grumbled to the others. He clanks about like a lot of old iron, and he is so slow he makes us wait. Thomas and Percy were indignant. Old iron? Slow? Why, Edward could beat you in a race any day. Really? Said James. I should like to see him do it. Names and numbers, and then this is what we'll do. Puffing hard, the twins set off on their journey to find the diesel.
That's right. Good Bogo.
They were looking forward to playing tricks on him. Creeping into the yard, they found the diesel on a siding with the missing cars. Ben hid behind, but Bill went boldly alongside. The diesel looked up. Do you mind? Yes, said Bill, I do. I want my cars, please. These are mine, said the diesel. Go away. Bill pretended not to be frightened. You're a big bully, he whimpered. You'll be sorry. He ran back and hid behind the cars on the other side. Ben now came forward. Cars. Stealer, hissed Ben. He ran away too. Bill took his place. This went on and on till the diesel's eyes nearly popped out. Stop! You're making me giddy! The two engines gazed at him. Are there two of you? Yes, we're twins. I might have known it. Just then, Edward bustled up. Bill and Ben, why are you playing here? We're not playing, protested Bill. We're rescuing our cars, squeaked Ben. Even you don't take our cars without asking, but this diesel did. There's no cause to be rude, said Edward severely. This engine is a Metropolitan Vickers, diesel electric, Type 2. twins were abashed. We're sorry, Mr. Never mind, the Diesel smiled. Call me Boko. I'm sorry I didn't understand about the cars. That's all right then, said Edward. Now off you go, Bill and Ben. Fetch Boko's cars, then you can take this lot. There's no real harm in them, he said to Boko. Edward was getting old. His bearings were worn, and he clanked as he puffed along. He was taking empty cattle cars to a market town. The sun shone, birds sang. Edward was heading for trouble. Come on, he puffed. Oh, 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 screamed the cars. Edward puffed and clanked. The cars rattled and screamed. Some cows were grazing nearby. They were not used to trains. The noise and smoke disturbed them. As Edward clanked by, they broke through the fence and ran across the line. A coupling was broken, and some cars were left behind. Edward felt a jerk but didn't take much notice. He was used to cattle cars. Bother those cars, he thought. Why can't they come quietly? He was at the next station before either he or his driver realized what had happened. When Gordon and Henry heard about the accident, they laughed and boasted. Fancy allowing cows to break his train. They wouldn't dare do that to us. We'd show them. Old Toby was cross. You couldn't help it, Edward. They've never met cows. I have, and I know trouble they are. Some days later, Gordon rushed through Edward's station. Hoop, hoop, mind the cows. Hurry, 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 puffed Gordon. Don't make such a fuss, don't make such a fuss, grumbled his coaches. A long stretch of line lay ahead. In the distance was a bridge. It seemed to Gordon that there was something on the bridge. His driver thought so too. Whoa, Gordon, he said and shut off steam. Oh, said Gordon, it's only a cow. Shoo! Shoo! He moved slowly onto the bridge, but the cow wouldn't shoo.
Cow didn't shoo.
Her cough and felt lonely.
That's right,
Moo, she said sadly.
said the cow.
Everyone tried to send her away, but she wouldn't go. Henry arrived. What's this? A cow? I'll soon settle her. Be off, be off. Moo, said the cow. Henry backed away nervously. I don't want to hurt her.
Shouted Henry.
At the next station, Henry's conductor told them about the cow and warned the signalman that the line was blocked. Was a splendid day.
It was pulling James's coaches for James.
The cars and coaches behaved well.
That's right, said
The
Duck.
passengers even stopped grumbling. But the engines didn't like having to bustle about. There are two ways of doing things, Duck told them. The Great Western Way or the wrong way. I'm Great Western and don't we know it? The engines were glad when a visitor came. He purred smoothly towards them. Sir Topham Hatt introduced him. Here is Diesel. I have agreed to give him a trial. He needs to learn. Please teach him, Duck. Good morning, purred Diesel in an oily voice. Pleased to meet you, Duck. Is that James and Henry and Gordon too? I am delighted to meet such famous engines. The silly engines were flattered. He has very good manners, they murmured. We are pleased to have him in our yard. Duck had his doubts. Come on, he said. Diesel purred after him. You're worthy, Sir Topham Hatt to you, ordered Duck. Diesel looked hurt. Your worthy Sir Topham Hatt thinks I need to learn. He's mistaken. We Diesels don't need to learn. We know everything. We come to a yard and improve it. We are revolutionary. Oh, said Duck, if you're ever thinking me, perhaps you would collect my cars while I fetch Gordon's coaches. Diesel, delighted to show off, purred away. When Duck returned, Diesel was trying to take some cars from a siding. They were old and empty. They had not been touched for a long time. Diesel found them hard to move. Pull, push, backwards, forwards, oh-wee, oh-wee. The cars groaned. We can't.
We don't, gasped the cars.
Duck watched with interest. Diesel lost patience. Grr, grr, he roared and gave a great heave. The cars jerked forward. Oh, oh, they screamed. We can't.
We don't, gasped the
Stop their
cars.
brake snapped, and the gear jammed in the sleepers. Grr, grr. Oh.
Shouted Diesel.
Chuckled Duck. Diesel recovered and tried to push the cars back, but they wouldn't move.
They didn't move.
When Thomas came back, Annie and Clarabelle told him how well Duck had managed. Thomas was so pleased to be home that he soon forgot to be jealous. The works had left Thomas's handbrake very stiff. It made his brakes seem as if they were hard
Turned
on,
on.
when in fact they were not.
Not at all. Scared Thomas.
As a result, he and his coaches often overran the platform. Thomas found this most embarrassing.
Lola found this too.
Gradually, his driver and fireman learned to be extra careful. But one day, Thomas's fireman was ill, and a relief man took his place. The fireman had fastened the coupling and joined the driver and station master on the platform to wait for Henry's passengers. The fireman had forgotten all about Thomas's handbrake. Thomas simmered happily. Not long now, he thought, as he saw Henry slowly
And
approaching.
here shouted Henry.
But Thomas's brakes were not hard on, and suddenly he felt his wheels begin to move. He tried to stop, but he couldn't without his driver
I
and
can't
fireman.
stop, said Thomas.
He tried to whistle a warning, but he couldn't do that either.
I can't do that, said Thomas.
Conductor, driver, fireman, and passengers were all stranded on the platform. Stop! Stop!
Gasped
shrieked
Annie and
Clarabelle.
Clarabelle.
But Thomas, with plenty of steam, kept on going. The
The
alarm went out down the line. Stop the runaway. There, ready for action, was Harold the helicopter. The inspector had made a plan, and together they took off into the sky.
And taking the flight, shouted Harold.
At last, Thomas was tiring. I need to stop. I need to stop, he panted wearily. As they neared the next station, Thomas saw Harold land. They entered the platform slowly enough for the inspector to act. Judging his moment, the inspector scrambled into the cab and
turned
screwed the
the
brake
brakes
hard on.
on.
At last, Thomas stopped. Both he and the inspector were very relieved. Then they thanked Harold.
Thank you, Harold. Said
Think nothing of it. Well, Harold, glad to be of service any time. Phew, remarked the inspector. We must never let this happen again, Thomas. James went to get Gordon's coaches. They were all shining with lovely new paint. He was careful not to bump them, and they followed him smoothly into the station, singing happily, "We're going away, we're going away." "I wish I was going with you," said James.
I would have
should
loved to
pull the express and
go
flying
driving along the line.
Gordon, with much noise and blowing of steam, got ready to back onto the train. Sir Topham Hatt was on the train with other important people, and as soon as they heard the conductor's whistle, Gordon started. Look at me now, he puffed, and the coaches glided after him. Poop, 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 poop. Goodbye, little James, see you tomorrow. James watched the train disappear and then went back to work. He pushed some freight cars into their proper sidings and went to fetch the coaches for another train. James had just brought the coaches to the platform when he heard a mournful noise.
La heard it too.
There was Gordon trying to sneak into the station without being noticed. "Hello, Gordon. Is it tomorrow?" asked James. Gordon didn't answer. He just let off steam feebly.
Not at all, shouted Gordon.